There are places that are not just points on a map. They are states of the soul. They come to you, unbidden, in the middle of an ordinary day. They return in your dreams, in a flash of memory, in a sudden, inexplicable longing for something you can't quite name, but for which you yearn boundlessly. Zermatt. For me, this place is like an inner compass. Wherever I am, its needle trembles, pointing stubbornly here. To this one, last valley in the canton of Valais, in the heart of the wildest Switzerland. I remember it in its fury, when the winter wind descending from the glaciers is a merciless sculptor. When for 2 days and 2 nights, you hear its low, guttural growl, and the world outside the window becomes a white, howling void, where shapes and distances are lost. And I remember it in the silence that follows. A silence so deep and pure, it rings in your ears. When, after a night full of blizzards, you are awakened by a morning so crystalline and perfect it hurts to look. Then, in this new, immaculate world, it emerges from the shadows. The Matterhorn. Not a mountain. A character. An icon of Switzerland. A silent witness to time. A promise and a threat, enclosed in a single, almost arrogant, perfect pyramidal shape. This film is not a guide. It is a confession. A story of how this place strips you bare, layer by layer without haste, until all that is left is what is true, what is most deeply hidden. This feeling of freedom, it is addictive. The air here is so sharp and crisp that the first breath at 4,000 meters tastes like an elixir of life. Then comes the speed that blurs the world's contours and silences the mind. There is only you, the rhythm of your breath, the burning in your thighs, and the mountain. You are a conversation, held between the edges of your skis and the snow. They sound different on a corduroy morning slope, different in the heavy afternoon, powder and different still as they scrape across an icy traverse. You ski down from the Klein Matterhorn, from Rothorn, from Gornergrat. You cross an invisible border on skis, finding yourself in Italy in a single moment, feeling the other warmer sun of Cervinia on your face. But wherever you are, whatever you do, it watches. Always. You feel its gaze on your back. Monumental, omnipresent, magnetic. To truly understand it, you must hear its whisper. A whisper of history, carried on the wind. 200 years ago, mountains were not a thing of beauty. They were fear, a curse, the frontier of the human world. And the Horu, as it was called here in the local dialect, was a throne of demons, a spire of terror, the most frightening and inaccessible pyramid in the Alps. Everything was changed by a new idea born in the minds of poets and painters. Romanticism, a desire for the sublime, a search for God in wild, untamed nature. And it was then that all eyes turned to it. The last great, unconquered peak of the continent, the holy grail of alpinism. Its ascent became the obsession of an entire era. His name was Edward Whymper, an English artist and climber for whom this mountain became a matter of life and death. In his journals, you can feel that mixture of fascination and hatred. 8 times he challenged it from the Italian side. 8 times he returned defeated, humbled by treacherous ice and crumbling rock. He felt that the mountain was mocking him. Simultaneously, on the other side, his rival, the Italian Jean-Antoine Carrel, made his own attempts. It was a race, not just for fame, but for national honor. Until, finally, that day came. The 14th of July, 1865. Whymper, in an act of desperation, changed his front. He decided to attack from the Swiss side, via the Hernley Ridge, which until then had been deemed impossible. 7 men, tied by one thin rope and one great ambition, triumph was within their grasp. At 1:40 in the afternoon, as the first humans, in history, they felt the knife-edge summit of the Matterhorn beneath their feet. The world lay at their feet. With satisfaction, Whymper looked down and saw the tiny figures of Corel and his team, still laboring upwards, far below. The victory was absolute. But in this game, the mountain always has the final word. It is the home, and we are merely guests. One bad step. One slip by the least experienced climber. One jolt, and one snap of a rope that could not withstand the weight of 4 falling bodies. Whymper and the 2 guides, the Taugwalder father and son, watched in horror as their companions vanished into the icy abyss. They fell for over a kilometer, glory and death, triumph and tragedy, in one irreversible moment. That day created the Zermatt we know. It gave it its founding myth. Today, cable cars, like silver threads, carry thousands of people daily into a world that was once accessible only to a select, most determined few. And yet, the spirit of this place has not died. You just have to look for it. You will find it at dawn, when the empty streets echo with your footsteps. You will find it on a wild, unprepared slope, where you must rely only on yourself. You will find it in the silence that falls when you turn off the engine of civilization. I stand here now, high above the valley, alone. Around me only the infinite, and I feel it all at once. The euphoric joy that expands the lungs, and the deep humility that brings one to their knees before this majesty. I feel gratitude for the gift of this moment, and at the same time, I feel a shiver, the awareness that this gift is fragile, that it has only been loaned to me. One must have respect, unwavering respect. These mountains, which give a sense of absolute, almost divine freedom, never let you forget their power, their indifference. And it is precisely in this duality, in this constant conversation between unimaginable beauty and mortal danger, that the entire magic of this place lies. The magic of Zermatt, the magic of Switzerland. That is why I return, drawn by an invisible force, not just for the views and the adrenaline. I return for an answer to a question I have not yet managed to ask.